In Canada, the Catholic bishops finally come clean about the abuse of Native children, which stems back from the 1800s till around 1996. These bishops, they had a conference in Canada to give an official apology on Friday. And they said they would like to apologize for abuse suffered by Native children in the country's residential school system. Despite public pressure for years, the church had refused to acknowledge its role operating the schools. In a statement on Friday, the Catholic organization said that they acknowledge grave abuse that was committed by some of the members of the Catholic community. Physical, psychological, emotional, spiritual, cultural, and also sexual. Canada's residential school system opened back in the 1800s and operated as recently as 1996. The system forcibly separated Indigenous children from their families and subjected them to malnourishment, physical, and sexual abuse. The country's Truth and Reconciliation Commission has named it a cultural genocide. The Vatican has refused to apologize for the Catholic Church's role, unlike the Anglican, Presbyterian, and United Churches. Global outrage around the lack of apology spread earlier this year after hundreds of unmarked graves of Indigenous children were discovered at the sites of formal residential schools across Canada. And that's pretty bold. Are you shitting me? That's bold as fuck. Think about it. The Vatican claims itself to be, what is it called? The vicar something, which means he's the closest thing to God. He's the one that's bringing you God's message and whatnot. And that's sickening. For him not to have the decency to even give an apology. And for the people, it's a shame. You should be ashamed of yourself to even follow such a group or such a man like that. Those were children. And he refuses to apologize for sexual abuse and things of that matter. And you're talking from the 1800s to 1996. He doesn't want to apologize for these multiple people, for these multiple bishops that were causing this abuse to these children. But I'll say this. You have the black cult leader, which was Dr. York, that had been abusing children for years. But he's in prison doing over 100 and something years. What is going to happen to these bishops? Well, if it was left up to me, the people that were in charge, the bishops that were in those schools from the 1800s to 1996, if they're still alive, they would have to be prosecuted. But if it go with no prosecution and nobody's prosecuted, then just like the Vatican, you can say, I don't have to apologize. I'm not going to apologize because there's no consequence. See, and that's some of the things I talk about on here. Every action has a reaction. Everything that we do has a consequence. But when there's no consequence, people tend to do what the hell they want to do. So it's up to the people. The people have to press and keep pressing and stop going back to sleep and stay on their heads until we get some solutions, until we get somebody prosecuted. or else we have to just shut our mouths if we're not going to fight. If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. And with that, I'm going to say this is the news in you. North, east, west, south. Unite from every alley in Cali. Intersection in Backstreet. Subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up on your way out the door.